Oh, I need my football, Jay. Can you hand me that?
And now, live in studio, offering you a fresh perspective, an unbiased perspective, different from those disconnected talking heads in the media. He's an author, a coach, a real estate and finance expert, and he's committed to teaching you how to win in any marketplace. Your host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the nonsense in the mainstream media, providing you the timely truths centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, and so much more. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate, where our goal is to help you win as a consumer out there, help our listeners and viewers win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
And we got an all-star lineup here. I want to welcome back Tony Paredes. He's the president of Integrity Financial Services, local lender partner here. Welcome back, Tony.
Brandon, thanks for having me again. It's great to be back. Looking forward to a great show today.
Excellent. Also, repeat offender back in studio, Mr. Jay with A Snoop Inspection.
Love being here. It's a great place to be.
That's right. That's right. And my lovely co-host here, Danielle Berg. She's an expert buyer agent and co-host on the Real Estate Quarterback Show.
Thank you for having me, Brandon. I'm so excited to be here. And guess what? Today we have another great edition of Ask the Real Estate Quarterback, along with news in real estate and business.
Awesome. Yeah, we want to engage you out there. So we've got 3 E's here. We want to entertain, we want to educate, but most importantly, we want to engage you to help you live a better life. So you can reach out in several different ways. We've got an awesome website out there with a plethora of information at realestateradiotampa.com. You can submit the form. We're going to get back to you quickly. You can also check out facebook.com/Real Estate Quarterback Show. We got a Twitter handle out there as well. I'm at Brandon Rhymes1. For any of your real estate questions, we want you to go to the website and also save this number in your phone. This is our consumer advocate hotline. You can text or call anytime to 813-917-1894. Number in your phone now, so at some point you're going to need it. We've got a plethora. We've got attorneys on as partners. We've got all the resources that you're going to need for anything that you're facing out there. Save that number again. It's 813-917-1894. Real Estate Quarterback Show, your #1 consumer advocate, and we're consumer activists because we're going to tell you the action items that you need to make here. So let's jump into this, Tony. What are you seeing out there as the president of Integrity Financial Services, a leading lender, one of the most respected real estate and mortgage companies in the state?
Appreciate that, Brandon. The rates have been steady, and in fact, rates have been coming down with the situation that you mentioned leading in here with China. And the Fed has remained their stance of slow and steady increases of rates over time. Rates have been very, very low. The issue that we still are faced, I think, in our industry as a whole is the fact that there's a lack of inventory. You just mentioned it. So we actually are going to talk a little bit about new construction here in a few minutes, which has been a little bit of a shift that we've seen over the last few years. But for the most part, good properties, the properties you just talked about a second ago, those are going to go fast because there's just nothing out there. So you've got to, if someone's out there, they've got to make sure they're in the right place, the right position with their lender, with their professional, with their real estate agent, and they got to move on these properties because there's not a lot out there.
Into more of that
right.
As we come. Let's go ahead and bring Jay in the conversation here. A Snoop Inspection, big part of the real estate transaction.
Well, we're definitely seeing that increase in the new construction. Believe it or not, we do check behind even those contractors on that brand spanking new house, and we inspect those. And we usually find a few items. Luckily, it's not very often a major item, but you never know what you're going to find.
That's right. Yeah, when you're looking at home inspections, you're looking at mortgage, important decision. I mean, the difference in 1/8% rate on your mortgage, the difference of overlooking an item on your home inspection, very important to work with the best, and that's what we feel we've established here with the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Again, over 50 show partners now, ranging from CPAs, financial advisors, 3 or 4 different types of attorneys. Last week we heard from Josh with the solar division talking about solar technologies. A lot of cool things happening and a plethora of resources. And this segment, by the way, is brought to you by Freedom Boat Club. It's the official recreation partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Say hello to Mike Craig down at Hula Bay, which is also our restaurant partner down on Tyson off of West Shore. And so you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Tony Paredes, President, Integrity Financial Services. What else are you seeing out there, Tony?
Well, we've got a lot of in our industry, we've got a few headwinds that are coming up. October 3rd marks a pretty significant change in regulation. So it's going to have a significant impact, especially if you're a seller of real estate. Buyers now are going to have a combination, if you will, of disclosures all combined into one. The government's calling it basically know before you owe rule here. And, I get a kick out of this because sort of the patient's been off the gurney and the table here for a while. They've been running around playing a little football in the backyard. Yeah. And yet these regulations still keep coming. It's the last phase of the Dodd-Frank bill that's going to be enacted, and the CFPB, which is the regulatory arm of this industry, is basically going to oversee this. But if a consumer or seller of a home, a buyer of a home that's borrowing money, if they are not with the professional, they need to ask their mortgage professional, what do you know about this policy that's coming out October 3rd? Yeah. If they do not know, or they have a glare, a stare look in their eyes, like deer in headlights, I would run for the hills, because this is going to be one of those ones that could be a game changer. And also impact the pocketbook for these consumers. Right.
Stocks crash to push more China cash into global real estate. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com. All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Real Estate Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty. Former USF football player here. Played on the inaugural team under Coach Levitt and Mark Stoops at USF. So hoping we have a good season here. Bulls, Bucks, great place to be in Tampa Bay. Lightning had a great year last year. Let's jump back into this great content. Before we do, I want to touch on a couple of hot listings. And also, this segment is brought to you by Adrienne Falcone-Godsell. She's a personal, holistic healing chef and does a great job cooking these awesome meals for me each week. I feel blessed to have someone like that preparing these organic, fresh meals, because what else do we have in life if we don't have our health? So shouts out to Adrienne Falcone-Godsell, listed on realestateradiotampa.com contributors. And also, I want to touch on a couple of hot listings. Have you ever wanted to own your own hotel? Well, I've got an opportunity for you here at 636 Corey Avenue in St. Pete Beach. Literally a 2-minute walk, and you're on the sugar sand beaches of St. Petersburg. All right, I got a beautiful property here in Baycrest Park, right at Baycrest there. You've got a community dock, boat launch there, and it's 8303 Boxwood Drive, $220,000, 4-bedroom, 2-bath property, conveniently located right there at that intersection of Hillsborough, Sheldon, Memorial, Town and Country area, centrally located, 2 minutes to the airport, literally, and it's over 1,800 square foot heated. Great opportunity, great buying opportunity. Take advantage of these low 40, 50-year low rates, which we're going to hear from Tony in a moment about, and also have a development opportunity here on 0 Rowan Road in Newport Richey. $2.185 million for this acreage here at Tampa Tarpon Springs and Rowan Road, Newport Richey, a prime opportunity to develop in the greater Tampa area of Tampa Bay. So interesting story last week. We actually heard Home Depot reporting a record 90-day transactions over the last 3 months. They had record transaction spending. So some of the stuff is correcting, and that shows the housing side of
areas
of the spending.
Yeah, areas are correcting themselves, absolutely.
Yep. So Home Depot, it's when you think about what's going on in China, might as well talk about this article here. We got stocks crash to pull more China cash into global real estate. And so what's happening here is, I'm going to read this article. Wall of Chinese money is heading for global real estate as local investors look for alternatives to countries' crashing stock markets. Chinese buyers have already spent billions in the U.S., UK, and Australia, causing property prices to rise. Experts say much more cash is on the way. So, yeah, definitely. When you think about where you're going to put your money, you work hard for that dollar, right? So a lot of Asian money's flying in, a lot of European, even South American money flying into the United States. So it's kind of like we're the cleanest shirt in the dirty laundry. Right. People are investing in New York, Miami, Tampa Bay, and of course California areas as well, Chicago. But what happens is when you look at the safe haven, it's an opportunity to insure your asset. Worst case scenario, flood, fire, you've got insurance. JW Assurance is our partner there. We've got you covered with all these different areas. So when you're thinking about investing, what a great time to invest in the United States.
Well, and keep in mind, China's they've got a pretty big stake already in the United States. So this is a double down opportunity for them.
Yep.
So, it's not far-fetched for them to take a look at the opportunity that they have in front of them and really put more cash into that system. Now, one of the things that we look for in our industry and our company is we look like an item called the wealth effect. And when this correction happens, the stock prices, go down. Well, obviously 401ks, retirement, the wealth effect takes at least a conceptually, backseat to, someone's feeling really good about what their last quarterly statement looked like.
Yep.
So that could also have a slight downturn or a pause, if you will, for them to make major purchases, hence real estate.
Yep.
So these are great opportunities. These are buying opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Warren Buffett said one of the best lines I'll always remember forever, which is when everybody's buying, I'm selling. When everyone's selling, I'm buying.
Yeah.
So, take a look at those opportunities that now is the time to get with Brandon, you and your team. Look for those properties. Take advantage of these low rates. These are just capsules of time. They're not going to be here forever.
Yeah, be greedy when others are fearful,
absolutely.
fearful when others are greedy.
Take those chances.
And we talked about the rates, too, in the first part of the segment. And, even if the rates were to increase a half a point, we're still looking at 5-6% rates
historically
that our grandparents would have rolled over looking for
yeah.
these rates when they were in the 12 and teens and 18% back in the day. So it's a great buying opportunity, and we got an opportunity to do a rent versus own analysis. Now, what we want to do is for the first 5 listeners who text in, what we're going to do is a rent versus own analysis. And Danielle, do you want to explain that?
Yeah, so for the rent versus own analysis, if you text rent to our consumer advocate hotline along with the amount of rent that you are currently paying, we will get back to you before our head hits the pillow that night. Just text us at 813-917-1894 with the amount of rent that you're currently paying and text rent to that number.
Yeah, and what it's going to do, Tony's actually going to prepare, his team's going to prepare a rent versus own analysis. It's going to show you the amount of money that you're throwing away, paying a rent to a landlord, paying down his mortgage, and help you build a better legacy. That's what we want to do. If you're brave enough to build a better legacy for your family, text the word rent and the amount of rent you're paying. We'll put this rent versus own analysis. Take advantage of the tax write-offs, the many advantages to being in the real estate game here in 2015 going into 2016. What a way to start off the year and build that better legacy. Get into the home buying game. Prices are low, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. We're here each and every weekend. We're here to be your consumer advocate. We want to help you live a better life by providing you the timely truths around your real estate, credit, and finance. Check us out, realestateradiotampa.com. All right, welcome back. Real Estate Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty. Got some intelligent talk radio going on here. And giving you an edge, making you more street smart here. That's the goal of our show, help you sort through a lot of the nonsense you find out there in the mainstream media. But let's jump back into this great content. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show here, Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate. I got Tony Paredes. He's the president of Integrity Financial Services, local lender. Another big point of lending. I hear a lot of times these national names, I'm not going to say them here, but you never know who you're dealing with, and you can't go out and talk to that person, sit down with that person. Let's support Tampa Bay economy, located locally here in Largo, Florida. Is that right, Tony?
That is right, Brandon. Thank you for that. We're very proud to be a sponsor and a contributor to your show. It's an incredible show. We've had the luxury and the blessings of being able to pick and choose our partners over the last few years, and there's no one better than you and your team as well to align ourselves with our company. But we're right here, locally based in Largo. We're a state licensed lender. My partner and I just figured we could be the jack of all trade, the master of none, or do something real good, and that's what we do.
Good.
Every single day is Florida real estate really, really well. We're a full licensed lender, so everything's done in-house, and that's a nice thing. There are no black holes when you work with Integrity Financial Services. So
that's right.
It's such a huge advantage to work with partners like yourself as well, because that collaboration needs to be very clear, concise, very transparent for the consumers to get to their closings on time and protect their investment.
Let's bring Jay with A Snoop Inspection back into the conversation. Again, we got this Ask the REQB segment where we want to engage our listeners out there. We're on Twitter at Brandon Rhymes1. We're on Facebook.com. We got a question, I believe, from our Facebook page today as well, Danielle. Is that right?
Yeah, we do. And it's for you, Jay. How do I go about finding a trustworthy home inspector? and what are some things I should be cautious of?
Well, that's a great question, Danielle. I would say, number one, make sure they're licensed. And they make it really easy here in Florida. If you just go to myfloridalicense.com, you can look up anybody's license just by their name or their company and find out what's going on. So number one, license. Number two, experience. Yeah. I have now been in the construction industry for 30 years. I've been inspecting for 5. And my guys also have years of experience in the construction industry and in inspecting. If there's anything going on and they need additional help, I've built houses. I've remodeled them from top to bottom. So if you have a question about a home, I'm the guy you can depend on, and we can take care of it for you.
Yeah, a big thing too with when you look at contractors in general is licensed, bonded, insured. In case something were to go wrong, those types of things. While we're on those consumer advocate tips, but one of the things too, Jay. Typically, people think of a home inspection on the buyer side, and a lot of times, what I'll do, especially if it's a home that's maybe 8 to 10 years old in that range, what I'll do is I'll recommend an upfront inspection if I'm on the listing side. That's where I focus my time. I'm a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. I've been featured in Florida Realtor Magazine, the Business Journal, the Tribune, and recognized for my innovations with marketing, but I focus on the listing side. I've got about 60 current listings right now. Most agents will have maybe 3 or 4. But so I focus my time there. So I'm an expert in this space. And what I think about home inspections, traditionally the buyer side is where people think of that. But what I like to do is when I list a property that's a little bit older, I like to get that upfront inspection done. That way we know, and we can also write that up in the MLS write-up. Hey, pre-inspected, no issues here, and then that's going to lower the buyer's that anxiety from that house, right? The buyer's going to say, oh, I don't want to go in, and now it's going to open up that whole new dimension of already done.
Well, if the house is going to be financed by whoever's buying your home, and you're getting ready to list it, they're going to look at it different than you being there for all those years. There may be some issues with insuring it with a new insurer.
Right.
Your insurance company has seen you. They haven't asked you a lot of questions for the last decade or however long you've been in the house, 5 years, 20 years. But the new buyer's got to get fresh insurance, and the insurance companies want more information today, just like getting the mortgages. They need more information today than they need to. Insurance is the same way. And there may be some hoops that you have to jump through to make sure that house is actually insurable at today's standards. And you have to find out whether they're true or not.
4-point, wind mitigations, all those different types of inspections are going to let the lender know, hey, this is a good property. I want to take this time here to give shouts out to HomestronguSA.org. Shouts out to Hector Castaneda. We've got a handful of properties recently from them, and it's a great program, Homestrong USA, where we give away, for every 25th to 30th home sold nationwide through this program, we give away a mortgage-free property to our veterans. So what a great opportunity to support the veterans. I know Tony, Mark over at Integrity Financial do a lot of cool things for the veterans as well.
We're probably regarded as one of the best VA lenders in the area. We absolutely believe that we're in business because of the what our veterans give up, the great sacrifices they give up for this country and our freedoms, and that's the main reason why we're all sitting in this around this table right now. So we believe in that, and that's the philosophy of our company. Our veterans, they save on average about $1,700, where we waive every single lender origination fee, credit report fee, tax service fee, all the fees on the lender side, gone.
Wow.
And that's for any veteran all the time. That's our company policy. It's our company product.
You're going to come back for the lightning round, our consumer advocate tips, and the fourth quarter of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. RealEstateRadioTampa.com. All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty. And we're a consumer advocate here in Tampa Bay. We want to help you sort through that nonsense in the mainstream media, avoid a lot of the negative sensationalism that you find. And this show is going to provide you a positive perspective to all things real estate, credit, finance, estate plans, tax plans, solar technologies, new home constructions. We've got over 50 show partners now with the Real Estate Quarterback Show. I want you to think of this show as the hub of your financial wheel. And each spoke extending out is going to represent another one of our preferred partners, the finest folks in all of Tampa Bay. We call it the Real Estate and Finance Finance Elite here in Tampa. So RealestateRadioTampa.com is something you want to bookmark, and our consumer advocate hotline as well is the 813-917-1894. We want you to save that number and use it at your leisure when you need it. So this segment is brought to you by Tampa Limo and Car. Shouts out to Roberto, Tampa Limo and Car, giving us a ride in events, and each week after we limo to lunch, and we go have a good time over at our restaurant partner, Hula Bay, down in South Tampa here. And I've got a couple of hot listings as well. And we got 0 Merlin Drive in Newport Richey, Hidden Lake Estate, $79,000 for this beautiful lot. Build your dream home and an airplane hangar on this beautiful wooded lot. Vacant lot is over 200 feet wide, tapers back to 465 feet on the one side, 303 on the other. So a little bit of an odd-shaped lot, but great opportunity. Shouts out as well to Captain Will Smith, teaching me how to fly. He's over at Tampa Executive Airport, Vision Aviation. He's got half off his introductory flights right now as well. Another reason to check out RealestateRadioTampa.com. And also Zero Trackside. Now, this is a great opportunity to build a nice dream home here in Horseshoe Estates, equestrian community right here in Odessa. Trackside, Zero Trackside Odessa, reduced down to $192,000. The owners are motivated on this property. They trucked in like 80 truckloads of dirt to build it up high and dry. No issues here with flood. And we also have 12203 Four Oaks Road in Tampa, the corner of Gun Highway and Four Oaks, over 2 acres. Great opportunity to develop gas station, drugstore, any type of commercial development, auto parts store, dollar store, right here at this busy corner. So any developers, again, out there, any home builders, construction folks, 12203 Four Oaks Road, Tampa, $325,000. Great buying opportunity. Take advantage of these low rates. Take advantage of Tampa Bay, the wonderful area that we live in here. So let's jump back into this great content. Again, I've got Tony Paredes. He's the Integrity of Financial Services, president of Integrity Financial Services. Jay Smith, A Snoop Inspection, as well as Danielle Berg, our expert buyer agent and co-host on the Real Estate Quarterback Show. So let's jump back into this. So any closing words? Closing words of advice, Tony.
We're here with a panel of experts, and consumers are, when they're buying a home, they're probably going to be buying and investing in the greatest asset that they'll ever own.
Exactly.
I mean, we need to put it in perspective.
That's
okay?
right.
And they need to be with the right professionals. So there's a lot of changes going on right now. There's some regulation changes that are happening October 3rd. For consumers that are not using Integrity Financial Services or Jay for home inspections, or Brandon, you for their real estate needs, they need to make sure that their folks and their partners are qualified, are smart, know what they're doing. Ask them the questions. What's going on with these regulation changes? How is that going to impact me? What's going on with interest rates? If they can't answer the questions like we can sitting in this studio right now, they need to be giving us a call. They really do.
Yeah, there's a lot of geopolitical things happening as well in the news. We see it every day. You turn on Fox, CNN, whatever side of the aisle you're on, you're kind of pulling the news from different areas, and a lot of times it's Yahoo and these different websites. But there's that economy out there, and then there's the economy between your own ears. Now, what we want to do is help you focus on the one that matters, right? Stephen Covey, the late Stephen Covey, talked about a sphere of influence and a sphere of control, things that you can control. Like your credit. We've got a great credit improvement partner here that can help you increase your credit scores, avoid that identity theft that's so rampant out there. We've got great lenders, great partners of the show, and home ownership is one, again, Tony, great point. It's a great way to build wealth. The example we gave with the VA buyer, instead of buying a single-family home, buy a duplex, a triplex, a quad. Use these resources that are given to us. That's one of the areas that our government gets right, is the VA financing.
Right.
So we want you to sort through a lot of that nonsense and negativity out there and engage us, and we want to help you live a better life here with the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Let's go ahead and get some insights from Jay. What else you seeing out there, Jay?
Well, the other part of things, whether you're going to pay cash for it or you're going to one of these professional mortgage companies like we have here, you want to get it inspected. It's a few $100s to get it done. Average inspection is $300. You want to go out there and get that place checked top to bottom. And along those lines, you want to get a separate inspection by the termite company.
Yep.
The termite guys, even if you're buying a block built house here in Florida, the roof is still wood, is framed in wood. You still have wood doors, wood trim. There's a lot of things that the termites still like in even a Florida home. So definitely get both of those inspections done to make sure what you're buying today.
That's right. Let's go ahead and enter the lightning round. All right, so we love this part. This is the consumer advocate tips, things to do, things to avoid, nuggets of advice for our listeners. Let's start right here. Tony Paredes.
The tip that I would have is, consider your dollar today as the best buying opportunity that you have.
Yeah.
It's the one that's going to take you the furthest. So, understand how low rates today can actually buy a lot more house, comparatively speaking to about 10 years ago when it was all these crazy exotic programs.
Yeah.
Today we're in a real market.
Yep.
It is a normal, plain vanilla loan, principal and interest payment. Low interest rate will get you into a nicer home.
Yep.
Find out what that buying power is. Get yourself pre-approved, as Danielle said, and get yourself a home inspection as well.
Definitely get that home inspection done. Find out what your roof looks like. Of course, you never want that water coming in. I don't think you want to get up on the roof of that house. Let us do it. We'll check it out for you.
That's right. Yeah, great opportunity to save a bunch of money and just have that peace of mind knowing that the number one asset, like you say, is insured and it's got the bill of health granted by A. Snoop Inspection.
Know what you're getting into. That's exactly what a home inspection is.
We're going to try to give you a heads up on what's going to need to be done over the next couple of years. Not even just where it stands today. Hey, this roof has 5 years left in it.
Yeah.
Plan on doing it in a certain amount of time.
That's right. Danielle, consumer tip?
My consumer tip is give more. There's this book called 212 Degrees, the extra degree. At 211 degrees, water is really hot, but at 212 degrees, water boils.
Yep.
And when you have boiling water, you have steam, and steam can actually power a train. So by pushing ourselves just that one extra degree, and all that we do, it might be the difference from being just good to being great.
That's right, yeah, and that's kind of along the lines of controlling your thoughts. Our minds are this amazing gift from God, and it's, there's a lot of things happening up here, right? So the more that we can control our thoughts on things that are going to matter, again, affecting our daily lives and helping us live a better life and helping leave a better legacy for our families, getting into home ownership, staying positive, having that positive perspective on life, it's going to help you, in many different ways.
We're blessed because our company has stayed relatively very manageable, very boutique-ish, if you will.
Yep.
Because we're very selective with our partners, but we're blessed in the sense that 70% of our business are repeat customers. Yep. Or customers we've done loans for that are referring friends and family. That's a big statement for our business right there.
Big time. Jay, you've got one more consumer tip.
One more consumer tip. Oh man, just trust the professionals. Just make sure you go out there and get the professionals, licensed people that know what they're doing. That's right. The biggest thing.
Good point.
All right, great. Hey, another great show. I want to thank all the listeners and the viewers out there as well. We got an iTunes podcast out there as well. Pull it up on the Real Estate Quarterback Show as well. And, again, 50 show partners to help you win in any marketplace. And we are the good guys here in Tampa Bay. It's important to support this local economy. Use a local lender here. Tony Paredes, Integrity Financial Services. All of our vendors are local here, so that's important. When you get on the internet and you start shopping some of these internet-based programs, and you're not supporting your local economy, so that's a big point. So another great show. Thanks so much. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. RealEstateRadioTampa.com.